Live from Storm Center 2, I'm meteorologist Rebecca Schob with the first check of your weather, and it is a hot one out there for many of us here across northeastern Wisconsin. We'll start you off with the heat index. Now, this is a measure of taking into account the temperature and the humidity. So here is what it feels like. How about 110 in Wapaka? Feels like 100 from Green Bay down towards Appleton and Fond du Lac, feeling like 102 in Shawano. You can see here feeling like the 80s across our lakeshore communities and up to the north. And interesting to note that over the past 8 hours, we did have some stubborn cloud cover hang across our eastern counties and lakeshore communities, and that did keep temperatures down just a little bit in that direction. Sunshine for the rest of the state. So as a result, they have dropped portions of the area out of that heat advisory. It includes Green Bay right here in Brown County and all the counties to the east. You're still under that advisory across the orange color counties until 8 p.m. and the bright pink is the excessive heat warnings there. All right, we'll take you outside right now in Green Bay. Kind of some hazy filtered sunshine at the moment. We check in at 89 steamy degrees, and we will stay in the 80s right through the rest of our evening with some clouds passing across the area, but a dry start to our evening. Again, feeling like about 100 degrees here early on. Eventually temperatures should drop back to around 80 degrees by 9 o'clock tonight, and then our focus will turn to the chance for some storms as we head into this upcoming weekend. All the details on that are coming up as Action 2 News at 4 starts right now.
This is Action 2 News at 4. Coverage you can count on.
The climbing temps create dangerous conditions for some of the community's most vulnerable citizens.
And again, our volunteers are trained to give us any red flags if they see anything concerning.
How volunteers are keeping area seniors safe under the scorching sun. It's our top story on Action 2 News at 4. Good afternoon. Jeff has the day off. It was one of the hottest days yet for many parts of northeast Wisconsin.
And unfortunately, that heat and humidity can be a deadly combination for the elderly. Molly Hendrickson shows us what neighbors and volunteers are doing to make sure seniors are staying safe.
Meals on Wheels volunteer Ron Poyster is making his normal Friday rounds, but today,
morning. How you doing?
He's doing more than just delivering lunch.
Nice and cool in there, though. Yeah, you got the air conditioning. Good.
He's also checking on seniors, making sure they're doing okay in the heat.
That's part of our job, is to check in, let people know back in the county that things aren't quite right. They will follow up immediately.
Volunteers like Poyster are trained to look for warning signs of heat exhaustion like disorientation or pale skin, a kind of lifeline for many seniors who have otherwise nobody else.
I usually have air conditioning, but it didn't turn on this morning for some strange reason.
When I leave, if this air conditioning doesn't get working, give us a call.
At retirement communities like Mason Manor, staff are encouraging neighbors to check on neighbors to make sure they're doing okay in the heat.
If they see a magazine or a paper under their door, we'll have somebody go in and look and see if they're all right.
Community rooms like this are kept cool, so residents who don't have AC have somewhere to escape.
Tiring, I should say. It takes the energy right out of you.
Knowing someone is watching,
well, good morning.
Gives them a little relief.
I really enjoyed this program. It's wonderful.
Even under the scorching summer sun. In Brown County, Molly Hendrickson, Action 2 News.
Republican State Representative John Nygren of Marinette will not appear on the ballot in the recall race for Senate District 30. That's what a judge ruled today after Nygren came 2 signatures short of completing the necessary nomination paperwork. Chris Harapsky has more from today's court proceedings.
In Dane County Court, Representative John Nygren's attorney argued that 3 of the signatures rejected by the Government Accountability Board should have been valid.
And the evidence that we've provided to GAB clearly shows that those nomination papers have at least 400 valid signatures.
Attorney Eric McLeod argued one of the electors wrote his business address instead of his in-district home address. Another person signed more than 1 nomination paper for that race, ultimately discounting that signature. But the attorney for the GAB argued that all the signatures that were thrown out correctly, leaving Nygren 2 signatures short of the required 400.
You don't get a do-over. You don't get to just keep spending your days coming up with more evidence. more signatures.
The judge sided with the GAB's argument, in turn preventing Nygren from being named on the ballot.
In my view, I don't like the way things have gone over the last few months myself. Elections should take place at the ballot box, not in courtrooms. And, I'm disappointed that we actually had to come to this point today.
Nygren could still campaign as a write-in candidate, but says he will make that decision in the coming hours. In Madison, Chris Arabsky, Action 2 News.
Today's decision means David Vanderleest will be the only person on the ballot challenging Democratic State Senator Dave Hansen in that recall election. We caught up with both men this afternoon to get their reaction to this ruling.
I guess I was ready to run against Senator Hansen in a final election the whole while. I thought we'd win the primary anyways. I'm just relieved that it's a little sooner than later.
But I'm glad to be the first one out of the box and, hopefully develop some momentum. But we'll see. We're going to work real hard. I think the people are excited, then they can work on a different pace.
The recall election date is scheduled for July 19th.
Wisconsin residents will be allowed to carry a concealed weapon starting in November. Governor Scott Walker's office announced today he will sign the recently passed concealed carry bill July 8th in Wausau. It will take effect November 1st. When it does, people who obtain a permit and go through training will be allowed to carry concealed weapons in most public buildings unless there is a sign saying they are not permitted. The search for a missing woman in Winnebago County is called off until tomorrow because of excessive heat. 40-year-old Michelle Voigt was last seen walking out of her home in the town of Utica about 6 p.m. on Wednesday. Jason Zimmerman is live in our Fox Valley newsroom with the very latest. Jason.
Kemi, that search was called off today at about 2 o'clock. Investigators tell us they don't suspect foul play, but they are concerned about Voigt's safety. This morning, about 20 volunteers assisted the Sheriff's Department search of the immediate area surrounding Voigt's house. At this point, they aren't saying why Voigt might have wandered off. K-9 teams from a search and rescue organization out of southeastern Wisconsin have also been brought in. So far, we're told while the dogs detected some scent, they didn't find any substantial leads. Eventually, the search was put on hold because of extreme heat.
Well, at this point, we're continuing search efforts. The dogs that we had out here had to retire for the day. It's just simply too hot in these conditions for the dogs. However, we do expect to pick right back up tomorrow morning and start again with the physical search of the area.
The Sheriff's Department hopes to resume that search at about 5 tomorrow morning. Reporting live in the Fox Valley newsroom, Jason Zimmerman, Action 2 News.
Thanks, Jason. Police in Oshkosh are also looking for a missing person. 24-year-old Kenneth Cron was last seen at Sawdust Days last night. He's 5'11", 240 pounds with blonde hair and hazel eyes. He also has a Cadillac tattoo on one side of his stomach. Police say he may be in danger because of a medical condition. Members of the Appleton-based 395th Ordnance Company will soon be heading to Afghanistan. Today, we learned a send-off ceremony will be held for the unit next Thursday afternoon at 3 o'clock. It will be held at the Reserve Center on Ballard Road. When they are in Afghanistan, that unit will account for and store explosive devices.
A diesel spill on Highway 172 in Ashwaubenon causes some headaches for drivers this morning. Just before 5:30, safety officials say a semi hit a piece of metal in the road, which punctured one of the fuel tanks. The driver didn't notice the leak until the truck got to Holmgren Way. By then, about 95 gallons of diesel had spilled. It took crews about 5 hours to clean up that mess. Cleanup begins today in southeast Wisconsin after severe storms rolled through last night. Winds in the area reached 80 miles an hour, killing a 31-year-old motorcyclist from Kenosha who was hit by a falling tree. At one point during the storm, 22,000 homes were without power. And just to the south in Chicago, homes were pelted with golf ball-sized hail, while the Willis Tower turned into a giant lightning rod.
Police in Pulaski are looking for 2 women who allegedly burglarized a home while holding a small child. It happened yesterday afternoon at a home on Blue Heron Drive. Police say a 13-year-old girl told them she was watching the neighbor kids when she returned to her unlocked home and found the 2 standing in the living room. One was holding a young boy. They asked to use a phone to call 911 because the boy was hurt. The girl gave them her cell phone, but when they gave it back, she figured out they never actually made a call. When her parents returned home, they discovered that cash, prescription drugs, and liquor had been stolen. Both suspects were white women with thin builds. One is about 55 or 60 years old and missing at least 2 bottom front teeth. The other is between 35 and 40 years old with dark brown hair. They left the home in a dark-colored minivan, possibly purple.
Independence Day comes early for Dominique Strauss-Kahn. Today, a New York City judge agreed to free the former head of the International Monetary Fund without bail or home confinement. The move comes as prosecutors continue to look into the background of the hotel maid who has accused him of trying to rape her. ABC News has learned investigators uncovered financial and telephone records that could link her to criminal activity, a potential bombshell that could unravel the entire case.
Think about how quickly we've moved. In May, you had the DA's office saying this was so violent, he was so dangerous, that he should be held without bail. And now they may be coming forward and in essence saying, we don't trust this accuser.
Even though Strauss-Kahn can now leave his Manhattan townhouse, the agreement does not give him back his passport, and the case against him still stands.
Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi is now threatening to attack Europe if the NATO airstrikes against his country continue. He delivered the warning in an audio message played to thousands of supporters gathered in the main square of the capital, Tripoli. It comes days after the International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants for him and two others for crushing an uprising that turned into a civil war. On Wall Street today, a better-than-expected manufacturing report boosts investor confidence in the economy. The Dow gains 168 points, posting its strongest week in 2 years. The Nasdaq rises 42. Well, today's heat is just what the doctor ordered for area pools.
Well, was the place to be. Coming up, city officials in Green Bay and in Appleton hopeful the warmer weather will help turn around a disappointing spring.
And if you can't get to a pool, officials want to remind parents to be aware of heat-related problems. What to watch for tonight at 5.
And conditions will still be quite warm right through our holiday weekend. However, it will be turning less humid by late tomorrow. But notice that chance for a few storms on your Saturday. Not everyone is going to see them. So we'll let you know who can expect at least maybe a chance for a shower with Pinpoint Predictor. It's all coming up in your full weather forecast after the break.
Action 2 News brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards.
Live life on full. Get great fuel economy and everything else you want.
Fuel efficiency is really important. The Ford did a great job with the Taurus. 27 miles per gallon on the highway sounds pretty good to me.
Get a Ford Taurus with 0% financing for 60 months plus $500 bonus cash.
Save big money during the Menard Day sale. Keep your dog safe in the security of your yard with Intertech pet training products. Choose from a basic remote trainer or this pet containment system. Your choice, just $77.77 each. Add beauty and privacy to your yard with pre-assembled treated fence panels. They won't rot or decay. 4x8 foot dog-eared panels are $19.77 each. Heavy-duty 6x8 foot dog-eared panels are $37.88 each.
Save big money at Menards.
American Family Insurance knows every family needs quality coverage with outstanding service at a fair price. So we offer a free assessment to help you review all your insurance needs. Call 1-800-MY-AMFAM, visit amfam.com, or contact your local agent for a quote today. You might find that customized protection costs less than you think. For auto, home, renters, life, and more.
American Family Insurance.
Time Warner Cable has big savings for your online experience. Get Roadrunner for $29.95 per month. Enjoy faster downloads with a reliable connection that makes surfing, shopping, and searching a breeze. Make light work of your online bills and get more done in less time. Get Roadrunner for $29.95 per month. Price guaranteed for 1 year. Call 877-943-2525. Hurry, this offer won't last long.
Live life on full. Get great fuel economy and everything else you want.
The Mustang is better on gas than the Camaro, which is important. And it flies. I mean, this car has a lot of power. Who doesn't want both of those?
Get a Ford Mustang with 0% financing or up to $2,000 cash back.
Storm Center 2. We track storms with Pinpoint Predictor and our exclusive tornado hunter, Viper.
Well, it may not have been the hottest day so far, but it's up there, at least in the top 5 so far this season, with many of us getting into the 90s, and that will lead into a hot and humid evening here. It tops your weather headlines, of course. Areas away from Lake Michigan and the Bay of Green Bay still under that heat advisory until 8 o'clock tonight, and then we'll be watching for the chance of a storm here across our far northern counties. It's not a huge chance, but we could see a storm there, so we'll be watching watching for that, and then a bright weekend ahead with less humid weather. Still pretty warm, though. Temperatures will be in the 80s. Here we are on Saturday. Again, those isolated storms, if they develop, will skirt through early Saturday morning. Temperatures will be somewhere in the middle 80s. Eventually, through the day, we will see less humid conditions start to build into the area. So that will be nice. And then Sunday and Monday looking very nice, low 80s there. Plenty of sunshine, really no problems for any outdoor festivities you may have going on for the 4th of July. And then our next storm chance comes in on Tuesday. Right now, here is the setup with our satellite and radar composite. You know, we did see a few showers and storms start to build down across southern extreme Wisconsin. Those continue to shift to the south. Mostly sunny skies here for much of the state, although we had just a few of those clouds hug our eastern counties, and right around the Green Bay area, we had some clouds there. Back to the west, here's a boundary that is providing for some showers and storms here to build. You can see some of those are pretty strong now, pushing into southern portions of Minnesota, and it's right in the vicinity of this boundary right here where more showers and storms will flare up. All of that will be kind of sliding north and east, and again, eventually as that line gets a little closer, it could clip some of our far north or northwestern counties. We'll be watching for it. Most of it's going to stay, I think, just west of our viewing area, but we'll keep an eye on things there for you. And check out this heat. 97 right now in Minneapolis, 98 in La Crosse, 89 in Green Bay, 97 in Sioux City. So nobody at 100 degrees, but pretty close there, just west of our viewing area. And 93 right now appears to be the hot spot in Wapaka, Wausau, and Baraboo. 90 on the dot for you there in Fond du Lac. Look at lakeshore locations in Sturgeon Bay. It's almost chilly there, 70 degrees there this hour, and 81 in Menominee. All right, let's take a look at dew points. Once they get above 60, it does feel a little sticky. Once it gets above 70, it's very uncomfortable. Oppressive, really, when they are this high. So dew points in the middle to some upper 70s means there is a lot of moisture here and definitely feeling very sticky outside. Fortunately, we have a little bit of wind. Generally, winds coming out of the south today, and many of us, as you can see here, in the double digits. So we'll take any breeze we can get today to stay cool. As we go through the rest of our evening, here's what you can expect. A pretty warm one overnight. Temperatures will stay in the 70s for the most part, and tomorrow they will rebound back into the 80s. So it's going to be another warm day, and as winds switch around to the northwest, some of you lakeshore locations may get warmer than the readings you saw out there today. All right, in terms of any thunderstorm activity, here we are at 11 p.m. and we'll go into our overnight. Here's 3:30. Notice that line west of the viewing area, but maybe something popping up here across the northern portions of the viewing area. Here's 7 a.m. The rest of us will probably stay dry, but then here we go in the afternoon. A chance, maybe just a slight chance across the far south to see something pop up during the afternoon. I think most of us are going to go through Saturday on a dry note, so not a whole lot to worry about there, but of course we'll be watching the radar very carefully here for you through the next 24 hours. Next storm chance then comes in on your Tuesday. Tonight, look for partly cloudy and muggy conditions. Again, just a chance of that storm to the north. Temperatures pretty warm there overnight. Partly cloudy, an isolated shower to the far south. Temperatures still quite warm, but it will be less humid, and I think you'll be feeling that by the afternoon hours. Temperatures stay in the 80s, though, right through our extended forecast. So 4th of July, definitely a summer-like picture here with 80s and overnight lows in the 50s and 60s, and more sunshine on the board than we've seen in recent 5-day forecasts.
Summer's here.
Finally. I think it is, yes. Thanks, Rebecca.
Well, this weekend will be filled with food, fun, and fireworks, but as Catherine Bracho explains in today's To Your Health, parents should also keep a close eye on their kids, especially the boys.
Action 2 News, brought to you by Senzigs and Shawano. Take an extra $100 off Sealy Posturepedic closeouts this week at Senzigs.
Somebody went to Wisconsin Dells. After you vacation in the water park capital of the world, you'll never look at water the same way again. Plan your next trip today at Wisdells.com.
I'll call the plumber.
There are over 100,000 items in a Gordman store. 90% of them are under $20. The latest looks in fashion. The latest looks for home. A to 60% off everything, every day. Gordon's.
Something unexpected.
Machines can't eat it, machines shouldn't make it. And that's just the way it is. The new hand-breaded chicken filet sandwich from Hardee's.
It's Nissan's 4th of July sales event. Celebrate with $500 holiday bonus cash on our most popular models. Visit ChooseNissan.com. Test drive at your local Nissan dealer today. Hurry, event ends July 5th.
Just getting away from it all. That's what I love most about the outdoors. It's a break. It's a break from the day.